My name is Ethan Marks. I'm 38, an industrial mechanic by trade, and until recently, I thought I had a solid marriage and a somewhat decent grip on my finances. Turns out, I was wrong, on both counts. The unraveling started the night I got scolded in my own kitchen. Not by a boss or a stranger, but by my wife, because I dared to suggest her freeloading brother cut back on his spending. It's funny. You can live with someone, sleep next to them every night, build a life, brick by brick, and still not realize you're building that life on a cracked foundation. That night, sitting in the dim light of our kitchen with the humming refrigerator as my only ally, the truth hit me like a slap. This wasn't a home anymore. Not for me. Let me take you back to how it all started. About 14 months ago, Lily, my wife of 8 years, got a call from her brother, Jesse. He was 31, recently unemployed, and allegedly devastated after his breakup with his girlfriend. He needed a place to crash for just a couple of weeks. Of course, I said yes. What else do you say when your wife's crying and her little brother is on the edge? You step up. That's what husbands do. Only, those 2 weeks became 2 months, then 4, then a year. And Jesse made himself very comfortable. At first, it was tolerable. He stayed out of our way. He bought his own groceries, sort of. He kept to the guest room and mostly played video games late, into the night with his MIC yelling echoing through the house. But then things started shifting. Little things at first. Dishes left in the sink. Lights left on all night. The thermostat mysteriously adjusted to 75. In July, bottles of expensive craft beer started appearing in our fridge, none of which I had purchased. Jesse stopped cleaning up after himself entirely. He borrowed my tools and left them to rust outside. He took my work boots once, and they came back muddy and reeking of motor oil. Still, I stayed quiet. Lily would always brush it off. He's just going through a lot, Ethan. Be patient. He doesn't mean to be messy. He's just distracted. You know how breakups can mess people up. But the breakup? That had been a year ago. And as far as I could tell, Jesse was doing just fine, sitting on our couch all day. Streaming shows, Uber Eats deliveries rolling in like clockwork. Job applications? Not a single one in sight. Every time I asked him about it, he had a different excuse. And that's where the tension started building. Not loud. Not dramatic, but like a slow leak in a pipe. Quiet, invisible, and bound to burst. The final straw didn't even feel explosive at the time. One Saturday night, I sat Lily and Jesse down after dinner. It wasn't an ambush. I even made his favorite, spaghetti, and meatballs, and tried to keep the tone calm and respectful. But I had bills laid out on the table. Real numbers. Real pressure. Look, I began, folding my hands. We've taken a hit this year. My hours got cut, and groceries and utilities have doubled since Jesse moved in. I'm not blaming anyone, but we need to tighten things up. Maybe we can split groceries, or utilities, or even just set a cap on expenses. Jesse didn't say anything for a moment. Then he leaned back in his chair, grinned like I'd just told a bad joke, and said, "You're joking, right? You want me to pay to live here? I'm your family." And Lily sided with him. "Ethan," she said sharply, her voice suddenly cold, "he's not some roommate. He's my brother. And you knew we were helping him. What kind of man starts counting pennies with his own family?" And just like that, I was the villain. For suggesting basic responsibility, I became the bad guy in my own house. I didn't say much after that. I just stood up, walked into the living room, and sat on the couch, because apparently, that's where I sleep now when I upset the family. I stared at the ceiling for what felt like hours. The television buzzed softly upstairs. Jesse was probably watching anime again. Lily was quiet in the bedroom. And me. I was spiraling. You know that moment in your life when the fog clears? It doesn't happen with a bang. It comes in waves. And that night, lying on the couch with a throw pillow that smelled like someone else's cologne. I had my moment. I started thinking, not just about the bills or Jesse's entitled smirk, but about the little things I'd been ignoring, like the fact that Lily had started spending more time with her brother than with me, like the way she dismissed my concerns with that look, the one that says you're being dramatic, like how I hadn't bought myself a single new pair of boots in 2 years, but Jesse was rocking limited edition sneakers and ordering $50 ramen deliveries. I wasn't just being taken for granted. I was being used. And the worst part? The person letting it happen wasn't Jessie. It was my wife. At 3:45 a.m., I got up, made coffee, and started jotting down numbers, expenses, income, all the little things I'd been swallowing. Then I made a list, a quiet, dangerous kind of list. Not a to-do list, more like a to walk away from list. And the first item on that list was this. The next morning started the way most Sundays did in our house, except this time. I wasn't playing along. Jessie was in the kitchen in basketball shorts, pouring almond milk into my cereal, acting like this was asterisk is asterisk house. Lily walked in minutes later, hair tied up, scrolling through her phone, acting like nothing had happened the night before. No tension, no awkwardness, no confrontation. I sipped my coffee slowly, watching the steam curl from the mug, like smoke from a fire. I hadn't started, but one. I was damn sure going to put out. Then Jessie made the mistake of joking. So, Ethan, about that cutting expenses talk, should I cancel my Netflix? Or do we just start eating ramen together? Lily giggled, clearly still annoyed with me from the night before, and tossed him a smirk. Ignore him. He was just stressed. Right then, I realized something. I could keep trying to be reasonable, to justify my frustration with numbers and spreadsheets. Or I could start preparing for what I knew was coming, what I now welcome star. I nodded and said nothing, just finished my coffee and excused myself to the garage. But I wasn't going to work on the car. I was going to work on my exit. In the solitude of that chilly garage, I pulled out an old notebook and started piecing together a second budget, my own. Not the joint one Lily and I had used since we got married. This one was just for me. I dusted off my personal checking account, the one I'd opened years ago for side jobs and freelance work. It still had a balance. Not much, just under $3,000. But it was enough for a start. Enough to make a plan. I looked at the shelves in the garage, my tools, my gear, the things I'd bought and maintained over the years. Half of it had been used or taken by Jessie, but some of it was still mine. Like my father's old socket wrench set, like the camping gear I hadn't used in 3 years, like my dignity, still buried under the weight of everyone else's expectations. That afternoon, I drove to a nearby storage unit facility. The woman at the counter smiled like she could sense what I was doing. Starting fresh. She asked. I didn't respond. I just handed her the deposit and got my key. Unit 27B. Small, dusty, empty, but mine. And that was enough. I didn't say a word to Lily that night. She didn't notice. We watched a show together, or rather, she scrolled Instagram while Jessie loudly narrated a movie from the living room. I listened to both and neither. My body was there, but my mind was already gone. The next day, while Lily was at work and Jessie was presumably napping after another exhausting morning of doing nothing, I went through the bank statements, not just the recent ones. I printed a year's worth. You ever try to read betrayal? It doesn't come in paragraphs. It comes in patterns. Withdrawals. Cash. $200 here. $400 there. Explanations that didn't track. For groceries. She'd said, but the fridge was always half stocked with stuff only Jessie ate. Emergency vet visit. We don't have a pet. Loaning a friend money, but none of her friends had ever mentioned it. I highlighted $3 700 in unexplained cash withdrawals over the last 10 months. And those were just the ones I could explain away. I knew where that money went. Straight into Jessie's pocket. I wanted to scream. Not because of the money, but because she never even asked me. We'd once argued over a $50 pair of shoes I'd bought myself without telling her, but she had been giving Jessie, her grown, able-bodied, jobless brother, hundreds of dollars behind my back. And I was supposed to keep smiling, keep playing husband, keep pretending I didn't notice. That night, Lily came home to find dinner ready, something I rarely did anymore. Spaghetti, her favorite. Jessie was already scarfing his portion when she walked in. She smiled, surprised. You cooked? Yeah, I said, smiling back. Figured we could all have a nice meal. As a family. And when she looked away, I let my smile drop. Because this was the last dinner I was making for people who didn't respect me. Later that night, when the house was dark and quiet, I opened my laptop and applied for a one-bedroom apartment just 12 minutes from my job. I used my personal email, my private account. I didn't even think twice. I didn't ask Lily. I didn't tell Jessie. Because for once, I was done asking. The next morning, I got the email. Application approved. I closed my laptop and exhaled, slowly, deliberately, like I'd been holding that breath for over a year. Then came the confrontation I didn't expect. It was Friday. I was in the garage, organizing tools, deciding what to move and what to leave behind, when Lily came in. Arms crossed, eyes narrowed. Have you been moving things out of the house? I turned and looked her in the eyes. Yeah. Why? Because I need my space back. She scoffed. Oh, come on, Ethan. Are you really still mad about the money talk? I already told you, Jessie's not taking that much from us. I laughed. I didn't mean to. It just came out. The kind of laugh that's not joy, but release. Not that much. Lily, you've given him over $3,000 in 10 months. He's not contributing. He's bleeding us dry. It's not like that, she said, voice tightening. His family. And I'm not. I asked, my voice calm, too calm. Because lately, you treat me like the guest in this house. She blinked. Once. Then twice. But didn't speak. So I did. I'm moving out. Her mouth opened slightly, but no sound came out. I found an apartment. Signed the lease. This weekend, I'll be gone. She finally spoke. You're leaving me. Over this. No. I'm leaving you because for over a year, I haven't mattered. And I just remembered, I deserve to. Lily faces the reality of Ethan's decision. Jessie's reaction is predictably infuriating. But Ethan's already a step ahead. We'll see the final confrontation begin to form and the deep emotional reckoning that follows. Would you lick a 3 ** now? Thanks for confirming. Let's keep the momentum going. I spent that Friday night alone in the garage, loading boxes into the bed of my truck, quietly, deliberately, like someone escaping in the dead of night. I wasn't running away, though. I was freeing myself. No drama. No shouting. Just the sound of duct tape sealing the end of a chapter. By Saturday morning, everything I needed was packed. My tools. My clothes. My books. The old stereo Lily never touched, but I still used to play Springsteen on Sundays. I left behind the couch we picked out together. The dishes. The wedding china we never used. I only took what was mine before all of this began. At 7:48 a.m. I slipped the spare house key onto the kitchen counter and scribbled a short note next to the coffee maker. ***, I'll come back to finalize things next week. Please don't make this harder than it already is. Asterisk asterisk. Lily hadn't come out of the bedroom. Maybe she was awake. Maybe she wasn't. I wasn't about to wait around to find out. I stepped outside into the grey morning, the kind of weather that feels like a sigh. The air was heavy, but I felt lighter than I had in years. Then I heard the screen door creak. Yo, where you going with all that? Jesse, standing barefoot in pajama pants, sipping juice from a glass he probably never washed. His hair was a mess. His face was half asleep. I closed the tailgate of the truck and turned to face him, moving out. He blinked, then gave me a crooked smile. What, for real? Yeah, I said, for real. Jesse let out a low whistle and shook, his head like, I'd just admitted to committing arson. Damn. So that whole budget freakout was serious. It wasn't a freakout, I said, calm and measured. It was a boundary. One you ignored. He raised his hands like I'd accused him of theft. Come on, man. You know things have been tough. It's not like I'm doing this on purpose. You're right, I said. You're not doing it on purpose. Because you're not doing asterisk anything star. He stiffened, face twitching like I'd slap him. You don't get it, man. Depression. I cut him off. Depression doesn't come with a DoorDash, account and a fresh pair of sneakers every month. You're not depressed, Jesse. You're dependent. That one landed. His face turned red. Screw you, he muttered, turning back toward the house. You've been looking for an excuse to ditch us since day one. Actually, I called after him, I've been looking for a reason to stay. And you two finally ran out of them. I didn't slam the truck door. I didn't peel out of the driveway. I just drove, slowly, calmly, like I wasn't leaving my old life behind, but returning to a new one I'd already chosen. The apartment was small, clean, and smelled like fresh paint. The manager handed me the keys with a smile. That felt like a handshake from the universe. I opened the door, stepped inside, and closed it behind me. Silence. Peaceful. Uninterrupted. Honest. And most importantly, mine. Lily didn't text me that day. Not that night, either. The silence wasn't new, but this time, it was mine. The next morning, the phone rang. I let it go to voicemail. Then she texted. Asterisk asterisk, can we talk? Asterisk asterisk. I didn't respond. An hour later, another message. Asterisk asterisk, Jesse's freaking out. He says you insulted him. Why are you doing this? Asterisk asterisk. I turned the phone over on the counter and walked to the window. Outside, a couple walked their dog, laughing about something I couldn't hear. A woman jogged past in headphones. The world was still moving, whether I was in that house or not, and that made me smile. Monday afternoon, I returned to the house. Alone. Lily had taken the day off. Jesse was out, who knows where. Maybe freeloaders have clubs. Maybe he went to borrow money from someone else. She met me at the door with red-rimmed eyes and the kind of posture that said she was ready to fight or fall apart. I don't understand what's happening, she said before I even stepped inside. You do, I said gently, but you're scared to admit it. She swallowed hard. You didn't even talk to me. I did, I said. You just didn't hear me. She closed the door behind me and followed me into the kitchen. Same space, same lighting, but it all felt smaller now, like it had shrunk without my presence in it. You just left, she said. No warning. No more chances, I corrected. That's different. She sank into a chair. This can't be how we end. I leaned against the counter and folded my arms. It wasn't the money, Lily. It was the trust. It was being dismissed. Over and over. It was watching you turn every one of my concerns into a punchline. She wiped her eyes. Jesse needed help. I did too, I said. but nobody ever asked me how I was doing. Her silence was deafening. Then she whispered, I didn't know it was this bad. It's been bad, I said. You just didn't notice because it wasn't your comfort. That was being sacrificed. She didn't argue, didn't try to spin it. For once, Lily sat with the discomfort of her own choices. I handed her a folder with a copy of the lease and a rough breakdown of what I wanted to take in the split. Nothing dramatic, just fair. She nodded without a word. Then, quietly, she said the thing I'd been waiting a year to hear. I'm sorry. And maybe she meant it. Maybe she finally saw the cost of enabling someone who gave nothing back. But sorry doesn't undo choices. It doesn't rewind disrespect. It doesn't rebuild trust that's been bulldozed for convenience. So I said the only thing that felt honest. I forgive you, but I'm still leaving.